Hello and welcome to another part. This is a series where we are building an application similar to Uber. If you watch the part 0 of this series, you will understand what this application allows the user to do. Basically, as the name suggests, it allows the user to share rides with the users nearby. And in the last video, we have built the registration form. Now in this video, we will fix the layout positions. So the layout here will be 2 columns as the design suggests. If we go to Figma and go to the desktop, we can see here that the layout, alright, represent 2 columns. The registration form will be on 1 column. And in contrast, on mobile, it will be each one on its page, and there will be a button which on clicking will redirect you to the create new account page. Now we'll start by fixing it on the mobile, first step. So let's get started. Right here in the front end, in the app.js, we have the layout which contains the header and the main. Now the main contains the home. Alright, for the desktop, the home represents both components, this welcome component here and the registration form component. So if we go to the home, we see that we already taken care of this. We are including here both the introductory section and the registration form. We need first to separate them totally. So the container will wrap the content of the welcome page, and the registration form will be wrapped by its own container. Now we can see that we have here 2 sections, alright, separated totally from each one. Now to group the introductory section here, we can wrap it with an additional div. So here we'll add a div. Alright, so now we have 2 sections. Now for the style home, which wrap both of these sections, we can add a display grid, and the grid template columns will be 1FR, which means divided into 2 columns, each one with a width of 1 fraction. 1 fraction is like a 1 portion, so divided into 2 portions and set each portion equally. So they will be divided equally with 2. So if we now save and go to the browser, as you can see, they are divided by 2. Now, concerning the container, if we go to the container component, we can see that we are setting its width to 1280 pixels. So this is a problem here. What we will do, alright, we will style the container in a way which on desktop will be 2080, but on mobile it will be it will fit the screen. So what we will do, we'll go back to our home.js, and we'll wrap all the elements inside the container. We'll get rid of the div and the closing and new opening container. Alright, so we'll have both all of the elements inside a container. Now we'll wrap this with an additional div. Alright, so we'll have a div and the registration form, which represent 2 separate element inside the container, so they will be restricted inside the 1280 pixel. So if we have a look, still something. Oh, all right, what happened here is that we need to wrap the wall page with the container. So the styled home, which contains the display grid, need to be inside of the container. All right, now it is working. Now for the container, all right, we set the max width, so if we resize, it will adapt. All right. And one additional rule I will add to the container is the padding, which will be on each side 30 pixel. All right, so when we resize, we leave a 30 pixel from each side. Now as I'm looking here at the right side, I can see there's more space. This is due, I guess, to the padding we have added for each page. So we have padding for each page, yes. Okay, now for concerning the padding, which is applied here in the home content, padding 25 pixel, and is applied to the form. So on the desktop, here we don't need the spacing, so it will be only on mobile. So I'll remove these rules for now, and all right. And for the page component, which is a class, and the rules are set here in the app.css. So if we go to the app CSS, we can see that we have the page which have a 25 pixel for the page dash p. Now we can, if we remove this rule again also, all right, then we remove the rule also for the h1. All right, then we go to the home.js. Here to the grid, we can add grid gap, and we'll set it to 30 pixel. All right, so here we are, we have the grid with 30 pixel. Let me check the design again. Is it 30? About the other page, oh, it's 60. It's 60 pixels, so we'll set it to 60 pixels then, and we'll have a look. All right, this is it. Now if I resize, all is good. Now we need to fix it on mobile, because as you can see on mobile it is destroyed. So we need to work on it on mobile. So here I can see I made maybe a mistake here concerning the text and the buttons. There's no spacing between them, so I guess it is here for the margin button. So let's remove the comments and only comment the padding left and right. All right, so here we have it. Now we're ready to work on it on the mobile. Now if we switch to the mobile, first thing we need to do, we need to hide the, before that, we need first to hide the get started button on desktop. So for this we need to add some queries. So in the home page, we have this button here, which is inside the home content. So we need to add a query here. So here we'll add the add media only screen, and max width will set it to, once we reach the width 767. All right, once we reach this width and below, I mean once we reach more 767 and plus, we'll hide the button. Alright, so now as you can see the button is hidden. Now if I resize, I get the button back. The same way I will do for the registration form. So here one solution, and the shortest quickest solution is to use the media query. Now here I can use another media query for here. Let me get rid of the only screen end, alright, which for now doesn't mean anything. Once we need it, we will explain it. Now here concerning, we'll set the media query, it will be max, so if it's 767 and below, we will set the display to just block. This way we will disable the grid along with the gap and the columns. So if I go now, this is on desktop, which is still working as needed, and on mobile, here it is. Now concerning the mobile version, we need to, of course, we need to have here two routes, one for the introduction, and once we click get started, we need to render another component based on a route on the URL. So we rely on the URL to have two routes. One route will be the slash, and the other will be the slash registration. Alright, so for turning the route, we'll be working on this on the next section. Now for this section, I will fix the header here, which has a huge space below. So let me see what is happening here. So we have a space for the header, and we have a space for the, I guess this is the logo here. So let's check the component, the app.js component. So here we have the image, which has a container, alright, and the container have a padding. Oh, we need to fix this. The padding is for the left and right only. Alright, this is much better. Again, we'll make sure that everything works as expected. Now the header is weird. It has different spacing from the top than the bottom. Let's make sure it is this by design. Alright, it is like this in the design. So alright, so all is good. All is good. Alright. Now one more thing is left concerning the mobile part, is to hide the registration form. So to do this, we'll also use the CSS media query. Now to target the registration form, I will drop it in a div with a class of form, just form. And here I will target the class form in the add media max width 767. I will target the child form and set its display to none. So here it is on mobile, it is hidden. Alright, that's it for this video. Now let me see what is happening in the Rideshare. We have some padding. Alright, so let me fix it here in the header to the app.js. Here I'll keep the container, but concerning the header, I need to change its style. Here in the app.css, I have the element header. I guess somewhere it needs to be somewhere header. I will disable the left and right. So here for the left and right, I will set it to 0. Alright, which is what we want, so great. Now this is it. In the next video we'll create the route for this link here. What we want is once we click this link, we need to redirect the page to another page which contains the registration form. Unlike the desktop have different layout that include already the registration form in the welcome page. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.